everybody. I welcome you back to session 2 of Bridge Course 2020. In the last session, we had discussed basics of communication, and I had also given you a brief overview of the kind of courses you will be doing at VFSTR. In today's session, I shall be throwing light on goal setting and SWOT analysis. So what will be the components of today's session? We will look at how to define goals and set goals. We shall look at why don't people set goals if goals are so important. Then we shall look at the importance of goal setting. We shall see why people fail in their goals, in achieving their goals. And we shall also follow some guidelines for setting goals. Also, we will end today's session with a brief exercise on setting your own goals. So, let's start from the very beginning. What does the word goal mean? When you think of the word goal, what do you mean by a goal? A goal is something that you would like to achieve. All of us have aspirations in life. We have desires, we have dreams, we have ambitions to do great things and become wealthy, become famous, become popular, become more erudite. These are some of the goals we all have at different stages of our life. So, a goal is nothing but that which you would like to achieve. What is the purpose of setting goals? Why should an individual set goals? Well, goals give you direction and keep you focused on where you want to go. Here I would like to give you a small anecdote. Someone said that she wants to go to Vijayawada. Then I asked, which way would you like to take? Would you like to go to Vijayawada taking the route from Tenali to Vijayawada, or would you like to go to Vijayawada by taking the route via Guntur? The student was baffled. She could not give me an answer. So this is a problem most of us have. We want to reach a place, but we are not clear what path to take, what resources to use, what means to adopt. This is some of the most common problems that students face, especially in the transitional phase when they are completing their +2 and getting into the tertiary level of education. So I thought that this topic is very appropriate considering that all of you have just completed your intermediate and you're going to step into the engineering course. I thought that this would be a wonderful topic for all of you during the induction program itself. So, goals give you a sense of direction. It gives you a sense of purpose. It gives you a sense of focus. That is why it is important to set goals. Then, considering that goals are so important, why is it that people fail to set goals? What could be the reasons why people don't set goals for themselves? I feel that the most common reason is because students don't have optimism. Students always look at life cynically, critically. They think that success is something that is easy and comes on a platter for others who are more privileged, who are more wealthy, or who are better placed. But that's not the case. If you see the life histories of successful people, you will find that they are the people who have pitted against all odds to reach where they have reached. I rarely find people who are born rich and who are born privileged making it to heights in their life. It is usually the people who are most unprivileged and people who are the most downtrodden or most deprived who have the fire in the belly, and they have the drive to reach heights in their life. So, the most common reason why people fail to set goals or define their goals is because they are pessimistic. They don't look at the brighter side of life. They don't think that they can do what they would like to achieve. Another reason for it is fear of failure. Most common reason, people think that people want to speak wonderful English. People want to speak fluently. People want to have wide vocabulary. But people think that no, I cannot do it. English is not my mother tongue, and I have come from a rural area. I don't have educated parents. How can I possibly get that dream vocabulary of 4,000 words or 5,000 words which will help me to crack the GRE exam? So people have set themselves to fail even before they have started. So this is another reason. People think that they cannot achieve it, and this prevents them from defining goals, making their life plans. Another common reason is lack of ambition. People set low ambition. People think that, even many brilliant students, they think that if I get 25,000 rupees per month as a salary, I think that's a big deal. My father makes only 7,000 a month. He is a clerk in an office, private organization. If I can make 25,000, I think I will have a comfortable life and I would be much better placed than my parents are. So people have low ambition. People don't set their aspirations high. This could be another reason. And people think that all my people are illiterate. If I can get educated, get a degree and get a 25,000 rupees starting salary, that is the definition of success for me. This is a most common problem which students, particularly who come from suburban background or rural background, do. They usually compare themselves to people who are like them, around them, to their peers, less fortunate people. But rarely do they look upwards. And this lack of ambition or this low ambition sets them to fail. This could be another reason why people don't rise to the heights even when they have the potential to rise. Yet another reason is low self-esteem. People want to do great things. People fantasize about their future. People want to get the dream job of 1 lakh salary per month. But people think that, no, I can't do it. My English is not good. My programming skills are not good. My physical appearance is not good. Or my knowledge is somehow deficient because I did not go to a great English medium school. These are some of the things or factors that hold students back. And so this low self-esteem, lack of confidence in their own ability, lack of recognition of their own potential sometimes acts as the biggest obstacle for them to succeed. And another reason is people have aspiration, people know about their own potential, people want to do great things, but they don't know the importance of goals. They don't think that, they think that their life plans will succeed automatically just by doing a 4-year degree course in VFSTR. Many students think that that is their gateway to success. They don't think that they need to plan and they need to spend their time on the campus meticulously, doing the right kind of things, interacting with the right kind of people, reading the right kind of books, and participating in the right kind of activities. So this could be another reason. People don't know how to set milestones, how to set goals, or lack of understanding on it could also be another reason that holds people back and prevents them from succeeding in life. Apart from that, many people don't know. They want to set goals, but they lack the understanding on the process of setting goals. But as I'm going to just show you, setting goals or making a plan for defining a goal and setting clear milestones is not a big deal. The more challenging task would be having made a plan, whether you are able to stick to it and whether you are able to remain focused on it. So, having said these things, now let us look at the importance of goal setting. So, why set goals? As I was already telling you, we need to set goals so that we are the masters of our destiny. We don't want to be on a rudderless ship, or we don't want to be the back seat passenger. We want to control the steering for our own life. So, Helping to set your goal will help you to take control of your own lives. Then you can also focus on the important things. Having a goal gives you the discriminatory power to understand what are the essential things and what are the not so essential things in your life, and how to prioritize things so that you are able to realize your dreams or realize your ambitions. So, you can focus on important things if you have a clear direction. Let's say at the end of the 4th year, I want to get my dream job in Google or in Apple or in Microsoft. What are the things I should be doing right now at the beginning of the 1st year? I need to have a wonderful vocabulary. I need to have a language proficiency of a band 7 or 8 if in IELTS, if I want to get that dream university for doing my masters. So these things will help you. If I want to get my job in Google or Microsoft, I need to polish my programming skills. I need to be better at critical reasoning, at logical aptitude. I need to polish my software design skills. These are things which will help you to understand what are the things you need to be doing at the beginning of your 4-year engineering. And not only that, you can also focus on other essential things. Apart from my domain knowledge, what are the things I need to do? How to improve my personality, how to improve my social skills, how to improve my managerial and leadership skills, what kind of activities should I be participating in. For instance, if I plan to do a master's in a big university like Carnegie Mellon, Yale University or MIT or Georgia Tech, I need to get at least a 320 in GRE. I need to get at least a band 8 or 8.5 in my IELTS. I want to get that dream job at the end of my 4th year. I want to get a job in Apple, in Google or in Microsoft. What should I be doing at the beginning of the 1st year? Obviously, I need to first talk to my seniors and take their mentorship. I need to talk to my faculty and interview them to find out what are the skills that a top MNC like Google, Microsoft or Apple expects from a fresher student just passing out of engineering. And if they tell me that I need to have good language prowess, I need to have good programming skills, I need to have good logical reasoning so that I'm able to write an algorithm and able to write code. And if they tell me that I need to have good social skills, ability to work in multicultural teams, I need to have leadership skills and managerial skills, then I should start working on those things right from day one. So, if I need to focus on my programming skills, if I need to focus on my language proficiency, if I need to focus on my social skills, if I need to focus on my managerial and leadership skills, what should I be doing? If I need to improve my programming skills, I need to probably start participating in programming contests, international programming contests like Hackers Rank. I need to participate in campus events where programming skills are tested. I need to practice on a day-to-day basis writing simple code. And this will surely add up to become a good programmer by the end of the 4th year. I also need to know not only the basics of C, which is considered to be the mother of all programming languages. I need to know advanced languages like Java or Python if I want to plan for a career in machine learning or in AI. I need to learn Python and other tools and applications. So these are things that will help me to keep me focused, spend my free time also doing value-added courses, maybe also understand how I can enhance my skills by doing some online courses, by writing small projects and project reports, doing simple projects, value-added projects for the society, like designing a small solution for a local merchant, okay, to automate his business. These are things I can start doing for improving my programming skills. Then, what about my language proficiency? If I am speaking about language proficiency of a 3,500 words that would be required if I want to crack an exam like GRE to do my masters in US or in Canada, then I need to start working on my language skills from day one. Yesterday in the basics of communication skills session, I was telling you some of the ways in which you can improve your vocabulary. So have a clear plan. So if I need to get the 3,500 words at the end of the 4th year, then maybe I should start working from today. At least I need to learn 4 to 5 new words every day. I need to read newspapers, I need to read good news magazines, I need to watch channels like CNN, BBC, and I need to learn 5 new words that I did not know of previously. So if I take 5 new words, that means on a weekly basis, let's remove Sunday, I will be adding 30 words to my vocabulary. 30 words in a week makes it 120 words in a month. Let's assume removing the summer vacation makes it 1200 new words in a year. And 1200 new words into 4 will give you the dream vocabulary of 4,800 new words. And what did we say was the target vocabulary for GRE? 3,500 words. So you can see how having a clear roadmap will help you not only to reach your goals, but to surpass the goals or the targets you have set for yourself. This is only one example I have given you. I'm sure, likewise, if you're talking about social skills, how can you become good, a good social being? Because social skills on the campus will translate into team skills once you get into organization. Your ability to work with people, empathize with people, and synergize their skills to be able to do a great job is one of the most sought after skill in today's corporations. So, social skills, how can you do that? Obviously by participating in team events. Be a member of NCC, be a member of NSS. It will help you to not only do service for the society, but by working in big and small teams, you will be improving your social skills, your ability to interact and exchange news, information, and also exchange ideas with each other. This will definitely make you a much better and a more social human being. Apart from that, if you want to improve your managerial skills, what do we mean by managerial skills? Better at time management, better at resource management, better at human resource coordination and management. So how can we get these skills? By doing lot of things. For instance, participating in campus events. When at VFSCR, a Vignan Mahotsav, the annual cultural youth festival is conducted, all of you should try to host events, manage events, do backstage or front stage work, and thereby improve your managerial skills. Try to help in the logistics, try to help in coordinating the transport, try to help in finance, getting sponsorships. All these activities will give you the coveted skills of good management. And try to host as many events in the department. Once you join VFSTR, you will also have lot of department associations, student associations and chapters like IEEE, where students will get the opportunity to host events using international platforms. They will interact with resource persons coming from industry, coming from research organizations, and people will get an opportunity to conduct events like quiz, seminars, conferences, and so on. So all these things will make you better at management. And yes, leadership skills. Try to do things even while on the campus that others are not doing. For example, if you want to participate in, say, no to plastic movement, you can think of making the campus a clean and green campus by going around, meeting people, trying to influence them not to use plastics, like say the canteen, or let's say the shopkeepers, the stores that are there outside our Vignan University gate. All these small things will help you to polish your leadership skills. Do things where you need to meet people, where you need to influence people. And when you do that, slowly but surely, you are on your way to becoming a leader. Wherever possible, try to participate in movements, in rallies for a social cause, donate amounts. If there is a calamity, try to participate in the relief camps and try to mobilize resources for helping the affected people like the refugees. And these things will definitely help you to become a good leader. And many of you may also be participating in events like influencing people to go out and vote during elections. This is a political agenda, but certainly these kind of things, awareness and sensitization programs on health, by participating in NSS, by helping to in the Swachh Bharat, you can become a better leader. So all these events, I'm sure, will help you to prioritize your tasks and how you should be spending your time on the campus. Then, as I already said, it will give you the discriminatory power to decide how you should be spending the time, with whom you should be spending the time, how much time to give to each task or each event. These are things, good decisions that will help you to change your life. It will help you to manage your time and spend your time on productive things rather than on wasteful things. And that is one clear sign of success even as a student. You will not only rock in your academics, but you will also do wonderfully in the co-curricular and extracurricular events that you will be participating. Then, as I already said, when we were talking about management, it will help you. Having a goal, setting a goal will help you manage your time, resource your time more efficiently and more effectively. When I say effectively, I mean being able to do as per your time plan. When I say efficiently, it means doing more tasks in less time. So set clear goals. So when you get up early in the morning, you can decide for yourself, okay, I have these 4 important tasks that are a must do, and these are other 2 tasks that possibly it would be desirable to do, but if I cannot do them, I will push them till tomorrow. So these things will help you to manage your time resource, which is a very valuable resource, more efficiently. And when you start having a plan for the task to be accomplished, and when you are able to fulfill the time plan and do things according to the time plan, what happens when you achieve them? That is a big boost to your motivation. If you are able to plan something and you are able to do it, execute it according to your plan, that boosts your confidence levels immeasurably. And this creates a positive cycle, a virtuous cycle. You might have heard of vicious cycle, but when you start fulfilling your milestones on a daily basis, it creates a virtuous cycle, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You become more enthusiastic when you're able to achieve what you have set out to do. And this feeds as positive energy back into your own system, and you are able to achieve much more with tremendous energy. And this confidence will help you to surely achieve your progress, and you yourself will be amazed at the transformation that you are able to achieve for yourself. Not only that, in the long run, you are moving closer to your success. You are moving closer to your 4-year plan. Yes. So, to wrap up the points that we just covered, having a clear goal, setting a clear goal will give you direction in your life, and it will also help you to nail down you are going to make and fulfill them. Apart from that, it helps you to clarify what is important to you and focus on it, as I was just mentioning to you. And not only that, it facilitates better self-knowledge. It gives you better direction and it gives you more focus. So, you will begin to see many more things about yourself. In the next session, we will be discussing about SWOT analysis, where I will take up this point little more elaborately. But what I mean by self-awareness or self-knowledge is, when you start executing the task according to your goal plan, you begin to realize so many things about yourselves that you were not previously aware of. For example, if you have set a clear time plan for activities to be conducted, you will begin to realize that there are certain times of the day when you work more optimally when compared to other times of the day. For example, some people are late risers and they work more efficiently till late in the day. Some people, on the other hand, are early risers and they are able to accomplish much more in the morning hours than in the late evening. So these are things you will begin to understand for yourself. So when do you work best? Who are the people? What kind of people bring out the best in you? What kind of activities or events are more interesting to you? How do you get engaged with people when you are working? All these things, you become a silent observer of your own self, because you are always evaluating your own goal plan on a day-to-day basis and critically observing yourself. So this gives you tremendous power to pack more things in a single day and accomplish more work in less time, which is a sure way to success. Apart from that, it helps you to take an active role. As I just mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, you want to be in control of your life. You don't want other people to be dictating terms to you. So by setting a goal, you are taking an active role in building your own future, the vision that you have planned for yourself, how to realize that vision. This goal setting will help you to attain that. And as I already said, when you begin to accomplish small things, that acts as a motivational point. You become a powerful motivator and you are able to aspire for more when you accomplish small milestones. For instance, when talking about, because I'm an English teacher, I would like to again go back to the language example. You have decided that you want to acquire a minimum of 30 words per week, 5 words, new words per day. In the first 1 week, when you're able to realize that action plan, and by the end of the week, you see that you have indeed learned 30 new words, this gives you tremendous energy to act further and subsequent week and the week after. So, small milestones attained will realize into big dreams. So, you become your own motivator and you become a dynamo, a self-driven dynamo, and you are not looking for motivation extrinsically, that is from outside you, but you yourself become your own motivator and you begin to realize your hidden energy and acquire so much more. And it also gives you a positive experience of achievement. As I already said, you feel like an achiever, you feel like a winner. This makes a difference to your confidence levels. This makes a difference to the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you approach things on a day-to-day basis. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it helps you, more importantly, to lead your life with a sense of purpose, a clear sense of purpose, clear sense of direction. So these are things that you should keep in mind. So now coming to our earlier discussion, why is it that people understand the importance of goals but still they fail? Why do goals fail then? That could be because people often don't understand the importance of setting realistic goals. Probably people set unrealistic goals. To go back to the earlier example, people, instead of 30 new words in a week, I decide that no, in this first 1 month, I am going to learn 300 new words. I don't set my goal in small portions on a daily basis, but I decide in this month I have to acquire 300 new words, and I don't do anything on it for day 1 and day 2, then how do I realize my dream vocabulary of target of 300 words per month? So people are often not realistic, and this is a major challenge for most people. So it is very important to set realistic goal. Setting unrealistic goals can lead to feelings of failure. As I told you already, that once you attain your first milestone, that gives you opportunity to go forward with more energy to reach the second milestone. But if you have set yourself to fail and not been able to attain the first milestone, then you feel like a failure. And once you feel like a failure, you don't feel the motivation to do anything. You sink back into your low self-esteem. We had discussed in the beginning of this session that low self-esteem is one of the biggest obstacles why people fail in life. So lowered self-image or self-esteem becomes very challenging for you to overcome later. So you should not, as I already said, it is a vicious cycle. If you are feeling positive, it acts as a positive booster. If you feel negative, so you will go down in life. If you feel positive, you will go up in life. So having a realistic goal is very important. Not only that, what makes goals unrealistic? People set goals when they are not ready for it. So, not setting timely goals. That means people don't have a clear perspective of time. I was just telling you an example. Suppose you don't do anything to improve your vocabulary for the first 3 years of your engineering. And when you enter your 4th year, you decide that you want to get a seat in Carnegie Mellon or in a Yale University or in Georgia Tech or in MIT. Then you realize that I should get that score of 320 in GRE. And so I need to, in the next 6 months, I need to get 3,500 words in this first semester of 4th year, so that in the beginning of 2nd semester, I can take GRE exam. So people make untimely goals. People have missed out the golden period of the first 3 years. People have done sleepwalking in the first 3 years of their student life, and then they wake up to reality in the final year and decide that they want to achieve this big goal of 3,500 new words for cracking GRE. Do you think that's possible? I'm not so sure. And not only that, people are not clear about the resources. For instance, if I want to become a good programming resource person, what should I do? I need to first know what are my opportunities to polish my programming skills while I'm on the campus. So maybe I should participate in a hacking competition. I should participate in a programming event. I should know whether these platforms are available to me while I am in the first year or second year. At what stage in my career, student career, can I start participating in these events, and understand what kind of guidance I have in the department. How can I connect with my seniors who have done these things before me, and what guidance should I take from them. So an assessment of these kind of available resources will help you to attain your goals. That is a more realistic way. So if you are unrealistic, you will not bother to find out how I can become better at programming, what kind of resources are available to me. If I don't think about it and I don't start inquiring about it, obviously I will not have attained my goal. And not only that, people are very, very general when they make their goal setting plan. What do? They say, I want to become a good programmer, and then they do nothing about it. Or they just say, I want to become a good programmer is not going to help the situation. You need to say, I want to become a good programmer. First, I need to master C programming well. And after I have mastered C programming, then I need to learn Java, or I need to learn Python, or I need to learn any other programming language, depending upon which area of activity I want to make my career in. So, making a general plan is not going to help. It is like saying, I want to become good at English. I want to speak great English like Barack Obama, and then not do anything. How do you achieve a plan which is so general? It is simply not possible to do so. Coming to the crux of this presentation, I request all of you to listen very attentively. So, how to set one's goal? Follow the SMART mantra. Be smart in setting your goals. So, SMART is nothing but an acronym to tell you the principles you need to follow when you're setting your goal. So, when you set your goal, be specific. S here stands for specific. Be specific. What do I mean by saying specific? I was just giving you an example earlier. Don't write your goals in a general manner. Don't say, I want to be good at vocabulary. I want to be good at programming skills. Set specific goals. I want to become good at vocabulary, and I want to at least learn 5 new words every day, a minimum of 30 new words in a week, and a minimum of 120 new words in a week. So, 120 new words in a week is what I would say is setting a specific goal. Then, define a goal that is measurable. You need to measure it. How do you know that you have improved your programming skills? Obviously, by the end of the first year, if you are able to participate in a programming contest and you are able to get a certificate stating that you are a runner-up in that event, or stating that you stood 10th in a group of 300 people who participated in the event, that is a measurable improvement. So, try to define a goal which is measurable. So, you need to say, I need to become good at my public speaking. So, how will I measure my improvement in public speaking? By showing people that I have participated in technical paper presentation competitions, participated in jam sessions, elocution competitions, debate competitions, and I have even got certificates stating that I have stood runner-up, first or second. So, these are some measurable achievements stating that you are surely improving, and that is the evidence you need to build for yourself to show that you are slowly but steadily improving and moving towards your goal. And define your goals that are relevant. Very often, students, even after joining engineering, they are a confused lot. In my first class in English, I often ask my students to introduce themselves and tell me what is it that they aspire to do in life. And many students say, I want to become a film artist, I want to become a great director, or I want to become a good musician. Do you think that is a relevant goal? If it is so, then why did that student join in engineering in the first place? So, goals should be relevant. So, if your goal is to become a musician, you should be joining a music college. You should be getting a degree in music. You should not be wasting your time in engineering. So, this is another reason why people fail. People don't pursue relevant goals. If people have a dream, they do things which take them away from their dream, and they do things which are not in tune with their goal. So, do things that are relevant. As I was just telling you, if you want to get that job in Google or Apple or Microsoft or Facebook, what should you be doing? Obviously, you should be participating in programming contest, pursuing your relevant goal. You should be talking about writing a program or learning how to design a solution to a problem. Goals should be time bound. When I say time bound, I already have exemplified it. I told you, if you want to become good at language, and if you have set yourself that dream vocabulary of 3,500 words as the goal at the end of the third year, what should you do? You should have 30 words as the action plan for the week, 120 words for the month, at least 1,200 words for the year. So, these are milestones. Milestones on a weekly basis, milestones on a monthly basis, and milestones on a yearly basis. And that will add up to that big goal. Big goal of 3,500 words at the end of third year or at the end of fourth year. So, this is the mantra for success. SMART principle. Once again I repeat, goals should be specific, goals should be measurable, goals should be realistic, and goals should be time bound. If you keep these things in mind while defining your goal, you are certainly going to succeed. Now, let's look at a real-time example. How someone has defined their goal using the SMART principle. For example, someone says, I want to be making a living from my new business. So, this is the specific goal. What is that person's goal? He wants to make his living, and he wants to make his living by doing a new business, by starting his own enterprise. So, this is I would say, a specific goal. He is very clear. He has outlined clearly how he wants to make his living or make his life by doing his own business, not pursuing a job, not doing research, not doing anything else, but by starting his own business, his own startup or his own enterprise. So, this is a good example of a specific goal. I need to make at least 2,000 pounds as profit per month. So, the person has decided that he wants to start an enterprise which will pay him in terms of profit at least 2,000 pounds per month, which is a sizable money. So, that person has defined for himself that he wants to run a successful business in due course of time, and be getting good dividends or good returns on his investment to the tune of at least 2,000 pounds per month, which will make him wealthy. So he has set himself a goal which can be measured. He doesn't say, I want to make lot of money. He says, I want to make 2,000 rupees minimum profit per month. So this is a measurable goal, clearly quantified in terms of the amount he wants to make. Then goals should be achievable. So how does he say that, think that they are achievable? He says that it is not a difficult goal to attain, because I know many people who have done it in the same line of business that I am going to take up. So he says, he thinks that it is realistic and he thinks that it is attainable. So goals should be achievable. So he says, I know people, I have interviewed people who have made the same kind of money pursuing the same kind of business that I am going to enter. So he thinks that this is a very much an achievable goal. And is it realistic? When I said realistic, what did we think of realistic? We said, do you have the resources? Do you have the energy? Do you have the action plan? Do you have the right kind of people to guide you? Do you have the finance? All these things. And he says, yes, it is realistic. I have put everything in place. I have applied for a bank loan. I have a old school friend who is making lot of money in that business. He is going to guide me. He is a thick friend who is going to mentor me. So he thinks that his plan is realistic. And then he says that he would like to start making this 2,000 rupees profit per month. What is the time plan he has? 12 months starting with today. So he says, in 12 months time, I will get the return on my investment and I will be making at least 2,000 rupees as profit per month. And he has clearly defined the timeline for this kind of goal. And he has stated this goal statement like this. It is the 1st of August 2013 and I am making over 2,000 profit per month from my business. So this is an actualized SMART plan. So what does he mean? That he has a vision. By 1st August, today is 1st August 2012, by 1st August 2013, I shall be making 2,000, I am making 2,000 pounds per month from my business. So he has a clear vision, and this dream and this vision inspires him to go ahead with all the planning he has done. So he is ready to go. He is ready to start his action plan and put it into execution. So now, the concluding part of this session, what are the steps you need to keep in mind when you are going to be setting your own goal? I would like to brief you on these 7 steps. As we already discussed, first identify your goals. What is it you want to do? Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to be doing a job? Do you want to go into research? Do you want to go into higher studies, do your masters and do your PhD from a top-notch university? What is your goal at this time in the first month of your engineering, in the bridge course? It is time for you to identify your goals clearly and decide what you want to be doing. Then set objectives. So we said goal is the big plan, the big picture that you want to attain. And setting objectives, I had already discussed, setting objectives is nothing but setting milestones. How are you going to attain that dream job in Google, Microsoft or Apple or Facebook? Okay, set your milestones. What are the milestones? What are the objectives? By first year ending, I should become good at C programming. By first year ending, I should have at least 1200 new words in my personal vocabulary. By first year ending, I should get at least a few certificates for my programming skills. I shall participate in workshops or programming events. I should get at least a few certificates for participating in elocution, debate or seminars. So, at least 2 certificates I should get, at least 1 coding competition I should participate. So, these are the goals, these are the objectives I have set for myself, clear milestones for the first 1 year of my engineering. Then list out the obstacles. What are the challenges involved to attain these goals? What do I see preventing me from attaining my goal? So, you can say, I have too many friends. I spend too much time socializing. I spend lot of time on social media. I am not motivated enough. Okay? So, identify what are the challenges which could prevent you from attaining these objectives, these milestones, and start working on them. If you have identified them, then you are surely going to do something about it. Then develop a plan. Having identified your objectives, your milestones you would like to attain, what could prevent you from attaining those objectives? Now develop your action plan. How are you going to apportion your day? How much time do you have? There are 24 hours. How much time I should spend in a day on focusing on my English? How much time I should spend on doing some practice on programming? How much time I should spend doing some extracurricular activities? Have a plan of action for a day, for a week, for a month and for a year. This plan will keep you focused, will keep you in the groove and prevent you from getting distracted and moving away from your goal. Then list your skills. We will be discussing in the next session SWOT analysis. That means, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the opportunities I have? What are the threats or obstacles that could stand in my way? Identify your skills, your strengths and weaknesses, and then move forward accordingly. Having identified your potential or your skill gap, now is the time for you to look for people to seek guidance. Who are the people who will feed you with positive ideas? Who are the people who will help you to overcome your skill gap? Identify the people, seek guidance and mentoring from the right kind of people. They could be old students, connect with alumni or your peers who are better at those skills than you are. Speak to your professors, speak to industry people you may have in your own family, cousins, friends or uncles, aunts who may be working in the industry. Speak to them, identify people who can help you to your goal in a more purposeful and with a clear plan of action. They can give you some useful suggestions and advice for you to overcome the limitations that you are likely to have and how to overcome the skill gap. Apart from that, list the benefits. So, for yourself, you should visualize your plan and you should say, okay, if I get a certificate in a coding competition, what do I get from it? If I improve 1200 new words in a year, what do I get from it? List out the benefits for yourself. These are very, very important. You need to celebrate small successes. By attaining the milestones, if you feel better about it, party with your friends. Tell them that this is the target you set for yourself and you have achieved your target. Buy them an ice cream. Take them to the canteen, buy them a soft drink. And this kind of celebration and triumph of your own success will feed you with lots of positive energy, and will also give you a good circle of people who will be encouraging you and supporting you in moving forward. So try to follow these 7 steps as guidelines for defining your goal and for moving towards your goal. Now, before I wrap up today's session, I have an assignment for you. All of you, I would like you to do a small activity for yourself. Imagine yourself from 10 years from now. So you are at the beginning of your engineering. So you will be studying 4 years engineering at VFSTR. After that, 6 years, where would you like to see yourself? Where do you expect to land yourself? Try to visualize that, imagine that, and plan for yourself a goal plan. And what are some of the things you hope to achieve in the next few years? So, as I already said, you should have a time plan. Your goal should be time bound. So, what does it mean? You should have a short-term plan and you should have a long-term plan. So, when you say 10 years is the long-term plan. So, next few years is the short-term plan. So, I would like you to think of what you would like to see yourself. You would like to see yourself as a graduate, passing out with high honors in the university convocation. And VFSTR, by the way, has an annual convocation where degrees are presented by leading dignitaries of the society. So, at the end of the 4 years, you would like to see yourself as a successful graduate with at least 1 or 2 job offer letters in your hand. You would like to, if your dream is to go abroad for higher studies, you would like to get an admission confirmation at least from 1 or 2 top-notch university for which you are dreaming to join. Then, what are some of the things you hope to achieve in the next week or months? So, this is the long-term plan, this is the short-term plan, and these are the small milestones, as I already said, your objectives. So, what do you plan to do to reach this big plan? Where do you expect to see yourself after 10 years? What will you do on a weekly basis? What will you do in the next few weeks? What will you do in the next few months? Decide for yourself. I would like you to sit, discuss with your friends, and after understanding your own strengths, weaknesses, try to formulate an action plan for yourself and write down all you can see. I expect you to imagine yourself. So, write your vision for yourself. And with this, I would like to conclude today's session. And today is the best day. Okay, it is the first day of the rest of your life. So, starting with today, please define your goal and set clear milestones for the next 1 week and 1 month and 1 year. And I'm sure you're all on your way to success. So, I wish you all the best.